YouTube, welcome back. This is Steve from Average Joe's Fantasy Football, and we've got your Week 3 start and sit edition for the running back position. Again, this is based off of full PPR and half PPR. If this is a standard league, of course, hit us up in the comments down below or follow us on our socials, Twitter and Instagram. We'll be able to help answer any of those questions for you. Hopefully you guys, again, had a victorious weekend. It was a lot of great games. There were a lot of blowout games. There were obviously a few injuries. But you guys have checked out our waivers. You guys have already checked out our start and sit for quarterbacks. So now it is the running back position to get you guys ready for this week. Remember, there are Thursday night games on Prime. We'll have a Monday night game, Sunday night game, and of course the rest of the games. Bye weeks have not started yet, so we are full go in this. Now, these are your obvious running backs you should be starting this week. You got guys in here that you're probably questioning, like a Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor. Again, without question, these are guys you are starting every single week. Sometimes you got to deal with the lows to obviously enjoy the highs, but these are guys you are going to be starting this week. I could have added a few other players, but these are guys I really feel comfortable, even with their matchups, that they're probably going to perform really, really well for you guys. Now, as far as my first running back I have as a good start, it's going to be David Montgomery. He's going against the Texans, who are allowing 27.4 points to the running back position, which is also 32nd against the running back, allowing over 140 rushing yards to them as well. Now, Monty's really the only weapon for the Chicago Bears at this current moment. Players like Darnell Mooney, Cole Kmet, even Justin Fields have drastically underperformed. The passing game is non-existent at this point. So realistically, it's David Montgomery. Now, Herbert was there the first week, but didn't really show up on the second week. Montgomery had 80% of the snap usage, and I can see that still happening again. This is a really good matchup. This is a game where Chicago could be in it, which will allow David Montgomery to run the ball and, of course, be as successful as he did last week, where he had 120 rushing yards and 15 fantasy points. So I do expect him to be very close to that 15 to 16 mark. Maybe even get a touchdown will help add to that aspect, but I like him a lot this week in the Texans matchup. So again, you should be starting him. Another running back I have as a good start is going to be Leonard Fournette. Right now, they're going against the Green Bay Packers, who are pretty decent against the running back. They are still allowing 19.9 points, but the reason why I feel Fournette is going to be really the guys, look at this Tampa offense. Right now, Brady is going to be throwing to the possible likes of Beasley, who they just recently signed, Scotty Miller, Perriman, and maybe Julio Jones. We're not really sure what's going on with his injury. Evans is out due to suspension with his fight last weekend. Godwin's still dealing with injuries. Kyle Rudolph doesn't really exist on the tight end position. So there are very limited resources in the passing game for Tom Brady, which is why I didn't have a good outcome for him. But this is where I think Fournette's going to really shine. This is going to be a game where he's going to get probably 100 rushing yards, maybe 3 to 5 catches in this game to keep up with the Packers, who this is going to be a pretty close game. So I like Fournette a lot. Last week, he had an okay game, right? But the Packers are allowing over 140 rushing yards as well. So again, this is going to be a game I think he's going to perform really well. Another guy I have as a sneaky start this week is going to be Dameon Pierce, the rookie for the Texans. Now they're going against the Bears. Again, like I mentioned, this Texans-Bears game is a very evenly matched one. Now there was a huge snap increase for Dameon Pierce. He went from 29% usage to 62% last week. So I believe this is going to be a sneaky matchup. The Bears are allowing 24.4 points to the running back position and over 125 rushing yards. So if they can keep this game close, again, both you're looking at Davis Mills and Justin Fields, you know, the quarterbacks of the century, right, to try to keep this game close. And I think it's going to be a focal point of the running backs in both matchups. Pierce, I believe, could get over 100 rushing yards in this game based off of that and probably get you 12 to 15 points. And again, if you sprinkle a touchdown in there, he's going to get you even higher. So he's kind of my sneaky start this week. I really like the fact that his usage is increasing, and really I think he's going to end up being the RB1 for sure for the rest of the season. Now, as far as my sits go, the first guy I have is going to be Jeff Wilson Jr. Look, Jeff Wilson is going to be the guy probably used a majority of it. Now, they did have Tyron Davis Price in there, but Davis Price is now out for a few weeks due to ankle injury. Obviously, Elijah Mitchell's out for IR. So Jeff Wilson's really the guy. They're going to sprinkle in, obviously Marlon Mack, who just recently got signed for the practice squad. But the Broncos are a really tough matchup. They've given up the second fewest points to the running back with 10.2 points. They have not given up a rushing touchdown yet as well. And they're also keeping running backs under 3 receptions as far as an average goes. So as far as PPR and usage, this is a really tough matchup. Even if Jeff Wilson's getting 70 to 80% of the snap count, I just don't think this is one I'm going to put him in there. Another running back I don't like this week is going to be James Conner. Now, James Conner is obviously dealing with an injury. He's day-to-day. He may not even play this week. Even with that said, if he's not playing, I'm still not starting Darrell Williams. You probably picked him up off of waivers, but I don't like Darrell Williams in this matchup either. The Rams are actually a pretty tough defense. Adding Bobby Wagner this offseason actually really helped them a lot. They're keeping running backs under 70 rushing yards, which is a big deal, and holding them to 11.5 points in fantasy. So whether it be James Conner or, again, Darrell Williams, I'm not starting either one of them. So this is a week you're sitting those guys. And the last running back I have as a good sit this week is going to be Rashad Penny against the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons have actually done a really good job against the run. Most people can pass on them, which makes sense. But they're keeping running backs under 80 rushing yards right now and currently under 14 points in fantasy points. So with that said, the snap usage of Penny has dropped quite a bit. Went from 69% down to 41%. And last week, Travis Homer actually had 45% of the snappage, which was bigger than Penny. Sprinkle in Kenneth Walker Jr., the second, out of his rookies. This is really his biggest first game. This is a big deal. This is a committee big time for them. As much as people hyped Rashad Penny, as much as he really performed really well last season, and I felt he could have done, the fact that Kenneth Walker came into this offense really worried me. And then now you're starting to see Travis Homer taking a lot of snap counts really is a big concern right now. And I think right now, Pete Carroll is keeping this as a real full committee, so I'm staying away from any Seahawk backfield at this point. Now, as far as my sleepers go, the first guy I have is going to be Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs against the Titans. The Titans have actually allowed a lot of rushing yards and points to the running back position. Now, Jacobs is not somebody who's going to just absolutely crush it for you. But again, because of the matchup and the fact that even James Cook, Singletary actually had okay games in rushing yards. They've combined over 100 rushing yards against the Tennessee Titans. And this was with Josh Allen just passing down the field like crazy. This is a matchup I think Josh Jacobs gets used a lot. His snap count percentage is still pretty heavily used. Zamir White isn't taking a lot. Abdullah's taking a little, about 25% right now. So again, Josh Jacobs is still seeing a high percentage in snap count. And again, he is being utilized. I think this is going to be a game where if it's going to be anything like the Monday night game, Derek Carr is going to keep this offense pretty, probably a touchdown or so more than the Titans. And the Titans look really lost right now. I think Josh Jacobs really does a great job. And the last guy I have as a good sleeper is going to be Cordell Patterson. Now, Patterson is slowly losing some of his job to Algier. They both had 10 carries last week, but Patterson was still seeing 59% of the snaps, which is a big deal. And I still think in this matchup, he's going to be utilized heavily as far as the reception side of things. The Seahawks are allowing 24.9 points to the running back, but they're also allowing 9 targets a game to the running back position as well. So as far as a pass catching back, I think Patterson is a better option than Algier right now. Even if Algier gets 8 to 10 carries like he did last weekend, Patterson is probably going to be in that same range plus 5 to 6 receptions, which will help amplify him. He'll definitely get you in that double-digit aspect. I don't think he's going to be horrible like he did this past weekend, but I do think he's a really good sleeper for this weekend. But I am concerned for them the rest of the season. I think Algier is slowly kind of creeping into that RB1 spot, and I think they'll utilize Patterson more in the slot, kind of like Tony Pollard is being utilized with the Dallas Cowboys. He's kind of the change of pace and slot guy. But again, I think he's a really good sleeper this week. So those are my start, sits, and sleepers for you guys for week 3 for the running back position. If you guys have not already, make sure you check out our quarterback start and sit video as well, and that you guys are subscribed to the channel and the notification bell is on. We'll be dropping our wide receiver and tight end video as well, and we'll try to sprinkle in some buy lows and sell highs for this week, because again, 2 weeks in, even 3 weeks in, we're going to start seeing some players that you might want to grab at a good buy or maybe sell pretty high. So again, make sure you check out those. If you guys did enjoy the content, make sure you hit the like button. It is greatly appreciated. And until then, I'll check you guys next time.